We just spent some time with a peak performance mental guy, Ken Revisa. So the last couple days have been some classroom, some activity. The early returns from everybody around me, the support group, including the times that I've interacted with them, has a chance to be a team with some character, some responsibility, and we're still developing the chemistry and understanding the new guys. We've got 17 new guys, and the landscape will change a little bit, whether it be from injury or cuts or dynamics or whatever. So I think the fall is the easiest time to have good chemistry because everybody gets to play in scrimmages and everybody gets to pitch, and then there's some more challenges down the road. But so far, we like the character of the team, the young men. There's been some confirmation that in the selection process, meaning recruiting, that we not only selected talented players but good young men from good families. So that's a good start.
You've been on the field yet? You mentioned kind of the peak and stuff. You guys take the field too already?
Yeah, because we're out of school and we like to do this. We're in 2 days, so they start out with breakfast, then we practice in the morning, and then come in for lunch and go out in the afternoon and practice. And so it's long days physically and mentally, and it's a little bit taxing. And sometimes you're really testing the youngsters on how long they can sustain the effort too. That's part of the objective, and whether it's 76 games, which is what it might take to be national champions, or a lengthy day of just a regular game. We show up to the ballpark typically for a 6 o'clock game about 3 o'clock, and we walk out the gate at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, just like you guys, after you meet your deadlines and write your reports and so forth. So it's a long day, and it's what professional athletes do, and these guys want to end up being professional baseball players. And so a college baseball game, the perception of that is it's 3 hours or whatever, but there's lead in and lead out, and trying to get better in each and every one of those.
You got 30 days or 30 practices? You guys can do 30?
We have 30 opportunities, 30 practices that we have to conduct within 45 days.
So those 2 days count as two?
No,
those are one. Okay.
Yeah, because we're out of school.
30 days.
Yes.
So you can use 30 days, okay.
Our last official day, because the clock started now, of fall would be October 23rd. That's the 45th day.
And will you go till then?
Yes.
Obviously, with so many new guys, you haven't had a chance to really focus on any individuals yet. But have anyone, after 4 days, caught your eye of the newcomers?
Well, the good news is a lot of guys have caught our eye. We think the prediction was coming in that we might have the deepest team by position players that we've ever had. I didn't say the most experienced, but deepest in quality, and that's been a little bit of a bugaboo for us, not to take anything away from the athletes that were serving as a secondary role the last several years. But when we got dinged up or banged up or playing 60 games or 64 games last year, that takes its toll when, let's say a J.J. Altobelli is playing almost every single inning at shortstop, or Aaron Payne playing second base, and their bodies tend to break down. And the luxury to have a good secondary player, whoever that might be, to rotate those guys during the season to keep bodies fresh and maybe finish faster might give us a little bit of a plus there, or an advantage there. And then also bench strength. It's been we think one of our real excellent things that we've done is the mentality of our bench players have stayed ready, and their performances off the bench have been spectacular. Now you add into the fact that I think some of the players on the bench will be more talented, and as long as the mentality stays consistent, we got a chance to really throw some good players at pinch hitters, pinch runners, pinch defenders, and do even a better job of winning the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Now, do we have Sherfy or Reed? No, they're gone. So somebody else is going to have to fill that pitching void at the back end of the bullpen.
Do you have anybody in mind for that at this point, or is that still to be
Yeah,
determined?
rather than break down who's the favorite and whatever, the obvious guy, and he wants to do it without any other consideration for starting pitching. Obviously, it doesn't do you any good to have back-end bullpen guys if your starters aren't good enough to get you there. But Garrett Clevenger wants to be that guy, wants to be Jimmy Sherfy, wants to be Jake Reed, has been a tremendous setup guy for the last 2 years. Had a great Cape summer season. So we think on paper, penciled in, would be Garrett Clevenger in that role.
Do you have any more clarity on Heineman? Will he be pitching, playing third base, starting, relieving?
Well, we know he's going to pitch some. We don't know what role would be his best, and that the complexity to if Heineman's an outfielder or third baseman, which he's vying for when he gets healthy. If he's not the end of the game guy out of the bullpen, it makes it more difficult to use him, because if he's an 8th inning guy or a 7th inning guy, and now you have to take him out or put him back in defense, you lose your DH. So it gets a little clumsy there. Probably the two easiest things to have a two-way guy, whether it's Scott or anybody else. We've got a guy named Connor Harbor that's a two-way guy, potentially a hitter and a pitcher. Would be the end of the game or pitch on one day a week, whether it be Friday or Sunday or Saturday, you know. And right now, Scotty's really devoting himself strictly as a pitcher, because he had labrum surgery in his left arm, as you know, so he's not able to swing the bat. So it makes it real easy to focus on one. And he's jumped into it with both feet, and I've seen a couple bullpens, and he's got a chance to be really good.
How about Cole? Where's he at?
He was up to 120 feet first time a couple days ago, and that went real well. So everything, all systems are go, and he and Matt Crook are passing all the tests so far. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, hoping that it goes in that direction.
With starters, do you want to come out of this with 3 starters, or do you want to come out of this with at least knowing who's a starter, who's a reliever? Where are you at kind of in terms of filling that rotation out?
I think we'll come out of this with a better idea who's capable. It looks like there's going to have to be some youngsters involved in that. They're awfully gifted youngsters, so that's okay. We've started freshmen before, and then we'll probably come back in January, probably with about 6 candidates, and then they'll duke it out based on performance on who gets the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The fun thing is that there'll be 3 new guys. As Trent Patton said in our meeting, he started a couple times, I think, on Sunday, but essentially those 3 spots are wide open. Cole Irvin being healthy on February 13th, our first game, would be a good thing. And if there's any leading candidate to get the ball on February 13th, if he's ready to do that, I would say he's a heavy favorite to do that if he's ready.
Good. According to the release that Todd sent out, this was going to be the only availability. Usually you guys do have a scrimmage or something in the fall that we can see. Are you going to do something along those lines this year?
Yeah, we'll scrimmage it. We're going to scrimmage Friday. You're welcome to come out and watch that. And we're going to typically, as our pitching starts to build up, we'll go Thursdays and Fridays. We're not going to work out on any weekends. We're going to give them 2 days off, and so those will be our scrimmage days. It'll be limited, where guys are going to go 1 inning fastball change, so you're not going to see the real thing.
Right.
But it is a chance for you to see us play baseball against one another instead of talk or practice.
Right. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Tolman first base there, or can you can move around?
I think that's a last resort. We recruited some first basemen. Balta's still going to work there a little bit, and the outfield. We've got a kid named Brandon Cuddy that's a junior college guy that is a left guy, and haven't seen enough of him to pencil him in to start, but he's a true first baseman. Stephen Packard played first in the summer in the WCL League. I would say with mixed reviews would be the best way to say it defensively. He had a heck of a summer offensively, but there were still some issues there defensively. So he's a candidate still. Tolman would be a candidate still. But to be honest with you, I think Mitch might play third or second over first.
You get any sense of, I know towards the end of last year, Graham was getting a lot of playing time at DH, kind of mixed with Chase. You get kind of any sense of what their balance is going to be this year?
No, I think that's going to be a wide open race. And the difference is this year, and I even said this to one of my assistants, we've already had some drills where I'm going to commend Kruger, Chase, and Graham, that they're all 3 very, very confident. It's a 3-headed monster again, and they've showed unbelievable competency and leadership, because we have 2 freshman catchers that are really, really special. Slade Hedgen and Tim Cisnera. even as freshmen, are going to put some pressure on those guys. You go, what are you going to do with 5 catchers, coach? Well, we're not going to catch one guy and play one guy a game and rotate 5 guys. But Hedgen and Cisnera and Kruger are athletic enough that they can play other positions. So if their bat says I should be in there and their leadership. The other thing is Sean Chase, because of his bat and his experience, could be a first baseman as well when he's not catching. So there's that kind of flexibility, and we feel really good about our catching position, and because they've all grown up in the program and they're all ready physically. And where last year it was a little bit of a 3-headed monster based on inefficiency sometimes, now we think it's really got some quality to it, so that's exciting.
Does it give you a little bit of a leg up, kind of knowing what Chase's bat kind of brings this year, whereas it was a little bit of a feeling out process for the first month or so?
Absolutely, and the other thing that quality catching does is it makes your young pitching better. We've got some new pitchers, so I'm excited about the leadership they're going to present to the young pitchers, and instead of them managing themselves emotionally, they can take control of those young pitchers and help that. And Sean Chase, if he continues to improve as much as he did from 2 years ago to last year, boy, that's an exciting venture for me, because he's emerged as not only a power guy and an occasional run into a ball guy, but he's becoming a real good hitter right in front of our eyes. So he didn't have a tremendous cape, but I think he's poised to have a really big year.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.